And look, I got to be honest with you guys. I get it. On a night like tonight, it's easy to criticize the Kings, condemn some of the decisions they made throughout the last couple of months, and for lack of better words, just make fun of the franchise for what they've become. But you know what? I'm not going to do that tonight because it's important to realize what this team has gone through, especially over the last few months. This was a team who back in December lost their head coach by way of firing in Mike Brown. And then a couple of months later, they lose their franchise player by way of trading to the San Antonio Spurs. They then acquire a few new teammates. Interim head coach Doug Christie steps in there. He does as good as he can. And then you throw in the injuries from Malik Monk and Jake LaRavia. There was so much adversity for this team this year. But still, I'm not excusing what happened in here tonight. It was unacceptable. Take a look. A sellout crowd inside of Golden One Center, nearly 18,000 fans in the building, and boy, were they loud. The Kings hosting a postseason game for the third consecutive year, this time against the Dallas Mavericks. Now, the Kings were 3-0 against the Mavericks coming into tonight's game. There's just one problem. They have yet to face a Mavericks team with Anthony Davis, and Davis made his presence felt. AD had 12 points in the first half alone. He ended the game with 27 points and 9 rebounds. The only person who really showed up for the Kings in the first half was DeMar DeRozan. He had 13 points at intermission, ended the night with a game-high 33 points. Now check this out. Special moment happened during a timeout in the first quarter. The 2025 NBA G League champion Stockton Kings were acknowledged. They received a standing ovation from the crowd. You figured that would have served as some motivation for the Kings. Not quite. In fact, the second quarter was quite possibly the worst quarter I've witnessed from the Kings this season. First of all, Klay Thompson remembered that 0 for 10 performance last year in this game, and he wanted all the smoke. Thompson went a perfect 5 of 5 from the floor with 4 3-pointers in the frame. He dropped 16 points in the second quarter, ended up with 23 points in the game. There's no other way to put it. The Mavs punched the Kings in the mouth in the second quarter. Dallas outscored Sacramento 44-19 in the second quarter. And to make matters worse, the Kings had 10 turnovers in the second quarter alone. Now, I'm no genius or anything, but that's not a recipe for winning basketball. Kings were down by 23 points at halftime, and at this point, I'm not even sure what Doug Christie said to the team. Now, Sacramento showed a little bit of fight in the second half, but by this time, the damage was done, and the hole was too large to come out of. As a matter of fact, Kings fans couldn't even bear to watch. The Dallas Mavericks come into Golden One Center and absolutely humiliate the Kings, 120-106 the final.
I think it really won't hit me for the next couple of days. It's probably the most I've been through in my 16-year career. The season that we had, it was a lot. It's too hard to kind of like fathom right now, but I'm pretty sure over the next, couple of days it kind of hit, the reality of everything, we all went through.